Welcome to this new Tableau tutorial. Today we're going to create a radial chart together. I have already imported one sheet from an Excel file, and the first thing that we need to do is to create a union, sliding over the very same sheet from the Excel file, and as you will see here in the table name column, I have replicated the data, but it's gotten here a new name. So here I have 1 and 11. And I'm going to use this to assign a 0 or 1 depending on the value in the table name column. So it's the calculated field path order. It's going to be a new variable, and if table name is equal to sheet number 1, then it's going to be a 0, else it's going to be a 1. Obviously, I do not forget to put and at the end of the formula. And as you can see here, I have a series of zeros. And when I'm switching over to sheet number 11, you're going to see the 0 turning over to a 1. Here it is. So now, let's start directly. We're going to create two parameters. The first one is going to be called radial inner, and I'm going to give it a value of -5. And the second one is going to be radial outer, and I'm going to give it a value of 1. And now we're going to create the different variables, calculated fields here. So first one is what we call the radial field. And it's very simple, this one. It's just what you want to display on the radial chart. So here, the funds raised by the startups. Second calculated field is the radial angle. It's a little more complicated, so sort of the index. If you want, you can just copy-paste the formula from the description of the video, or if you want to get some more information, I also created a blog post where all the formulas can be copy-pasted very easily. And I multiply it by 2p's at the end. Okay, clicking OK. The next calculated field, it's going to be the radial normalized length. So this one is pretty complicated, so please just copy paste if you don't want to make any mistakes. So we start by the radial inner parameter, and then there is an if function. Pay attention also where everything starts, and should not miss any bracket. It's very important. So here, radial field divided by window max of the sum of the radial field multiplied by radial inner minus radial outer. Closing everything here. Calculation is valid, clicking OK. Perfect. Now two more variables to create. So the first one is going to be radial x. Very simple. It's the radial normalized length multiplied by the cosinus of the radial angle. And the radial y, it's going to be the same, but multiplied by the sinus of the radial angle. Okay, and here we go. Now we can start making a chart. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to convert path order into dimension and select here a line chart. Path order, doing it over to path, perfect. And now I'm just taking a radial x into the columns radial Y into the rows. I obviously do not see anything because what I want to represent is a chronology. So here I've got a day chronology. So here I have to put the date on details, and I have to compute using the date. Now the magic is going to happen, where you can see already a result which is not perfect because I have to adjust X and Y axis. See, I'm going to click on fixed, and here I'm going to select -11 up to 11, and I'm going to reuse the very same values on the Y axis so that there is no distortion on the graph, and now it's perfectly circular. Okay, just drawing over the country to the color, you can see the different countries, but obviously this is not right. I have to also specify that it has to be computed along the country, which I'm doing here. Okay, perfect. And now you see, well, that's very good. So we have a few formatting things to do now. I like dark background, so I'm gonna first switch to black. And obviously there are a few lines that I need to get rid of. Zero line, trend line, so I'm getting rid of everything here. Now I just have to remove the headers, which I'm doing here. That's perfect. And now fill all the data. And now we have our circular chart, and we're gonna drag it over to a dashboard. And that's gonna be hit, removing the title, removing everything here, and obviously also adjusting the height of the diagram so that it remains circular. So it's done for the first part of this tutorial. You are welcome to watch part number 2, where I will create an overlay map in the center of this diagram.